Good evening, guys and girls. And today we're going to be looking at some thick Michael Rosen plums. You see what I get you there. YouTube proofs got you thinking about Michael Rosen. That's all. But Michael Rosen is also a children's poet. Children's poet. Actually, I meant children's storyteller. That was just me for be cheeky. Talking, mixing words, making poets into a storyteller when they're not. So yeah, Michael Rosen is a storyteller and a adult and children's poet. I said that again, so children's author. Okay, never mind. Let's get on with the video.
Up an activity group for children called Momentum Kids. It's intended to provide child.
Oh, by the way, this is some really old shit, so you might not be has. I think the reason I'm doing this is because it has nothing to do with the current situation we have. So we're just exploring the backdrop of Michael Rosen. Why is he participating in the Labour Party's Corbyn reform and all those
for parents
stuff.
who want to get involved in political activism. Some thought this was entirely sensible, but others weren't exactly keen on the idea that it might involve politicising children. Lib Dem leader Tim Farron dubbed the group Tiny Trots. I suppose it was calling out for that, and the scheme may not have been helped by an advert for an event at this weekend's Labour conference featuring a teddy bear mandate session. Children were invited to bring their favourite toy. Imagine what party it might join. Think about what their teddy...
Wait. Jeremy Corbyn is trying to get children as young, below the age of consent, to think about the politics of future with the teddy bears, using the teddy bears as rough guidance for which political party they should choose from. Well, because this is sponsored by the Labour Party, of course they're gonna have an agenda for an interest in the Labour Party, of course. And I know that because the Labour Party is hugely funded by Fabian Society members, Fabian socialists actually, not other socialists, just Fabian socialists. The Fabian phenomena is really out of the international socialist phenomena. So yeah, let's continue with this.
He stands for, its values, and how it might make positive changes. So is this revolutionary brainwashing or an entirely harmless way to get more people involved in politics? Well, I'm joined now by the children's author Michael Rosen and by Laura Perrins from the website Conservative Women. Welcome to both of you. Michael Rosen, is it ideological brainwashing?
No, it's exactly what the government recommends. If you look closely at the British Values site that the government says, it says that in schools people should encourage children to demonstrate how democracy works. It's actually, those are its exact words. Demonstrate how...
There's a problem with like the Labour Party doing this, because they advocate a certain type of democracy which is called social democracy, which is basically not socialism. It's not socialism, it's on the center left, or basically on the neoliberal spectrum, because in Europe we have the system different to the Americans. The Americans have this libertarian on the right, when in Britain the libertarian socialists are on the left of the scale, far left basically they are. But this is not. Social democracy is not far left, it's like center left. So with the centrists out there, congratulations. Michael Rosen is kind of advocating, promoting Labour Party enthusiasm, which I'm against. I'm not against Labour Party enthusiasm.
democracy works. That's what all schools should be doing.
Right, well, what's wrong with that, Laura?
Well, I think this is another great example of how the left, it's a rather sinister example of sort of grooming and infiltrating a very young...
Grooming and infiltrating very young. The bloody hell, it's run by Michael Rosen. It's not gonna be a pedophile regime. Sorry, guys. it's not gonna be a grooming and like she exaggerated to be this conservative. Also, by the way, in Europe, the conservatives, they do not value the individual rights of people. They don't value individual rights of the children. They just want to conserve nothing. Basically, they just want to make Britain into post second war, post First World War society, post First World War. The Tories are basically the exact opposite of the American Republicans, who are conservatives, would say they want a republican democracy. The conservatives, the British conservatives, do not advocate democracy, social democracy, or liberal democracy. No, actually, I take that back. Some of them advocate liberal democracy, and they generally, the funniest thing, the Tories advocate liberal economics, and all that. Continue.
Young child's mind onto a very leftist agenda.
Oh my days, it's not the leftist agenda trying to take away our British values.
And, you know, there are plenty of examples of that. If it was just providing childcare, of course, there's nothing wrong.
Oh, somebody need to make this conservative woman into a meme, because as she's speaking, her tongue is leaking out, as well as she's stuttering over her tongue and teeth.
With that, with the idea that we're sort of empowering children and very young toddlers and children to hold up placards is going a little bit too far, I think.
Didn't the bit that you just read out say that they had to choose which party?
Yes, I mean, if it was a right-wing organisation, grassroots organisation, perhaps one like your own, what would be wrong with providing childcare and perhaps talking about politics?
Well, I think you have to be very careful in terms of not trying to go behind parents' backs and sort of, as I said, influencing the minds of very, very young children into
Other parents.
Who's back? Who's behind our backs? That this conservative woman is such like a conspiracy nutter. Yeah. By the way, the conspiracy nutter jokes have a different degree of standards compared to the American standard. The American standard is anyone who wanted to speak against the government or that is a conspiracy nut. But in Britain, it's reasonable calling a conspiracy nutter that is a right-wing conspiracy theorist. For example, the right-wing notion of cultural Marxism is utter bullshit in my view. Cultural Marxism does not exist, and white genocide does not exist.
It's not going along.
Just a moment. Well, no, the parents won't be there because they'll be politicking with momentum. The children, we assume, are separated in the creche.
While they are out protesting. I mean, the thing is, Michael Rosen, why is it necessary to have it with a political backdrop? I mean, if families want to talk politics at home or take their kids out on protests and carry placards, why don't they do that? Why does there have to be a sort of political reason to offer childcare as a carrot and then say, we will, in some ways, indoctrinate your children?
It doesn't have to be at all. This is what people choose to do. I belong to left-wing groups. When
my days, Michael Rosen, I'm going to go disagree with you. The left-wing groups like the Closet Marxist Jeremy Corbyn does not support voluntary organization or voluntary association. Not the NAP, sorry ANCAPs, not the NAP, not the non-aggression principle. Nothing to do with non-aggression principle because it doesn't apply to Britain as a whole. And they advocate collectivism. yeah. Sounds really centrist now. Left-wing collectivism. Oh, no, actually, left authoritarian collectivism. Yeah, so when we look at the left, we should look at whether it's an authoritarian institution or a libertarian institution. Like that, there's libertarian socialists as libertarian, as well there is libertarian. Oh, as well there is libertarian fascist on the right in America. That's all in America. But libertarian socialist in Europe is on the left wing, and the authoritarian leftists are left wing Stalinists, Marxist Leninist. The odd one out is the European Luxembourgists or the Russian Luxembourgists, who follows the principle of workers, of council communism, which is Rosa Luxemburg. If you want to know Luxembourgists, they are anti-vanguardists, the anti-Marxist-Leninists, and I personally have sympathy for them. Well, not as in fighting Marxist-Leninists. They were part of the Bolsheviks, but they at least did not want to didn't want to hurt. At least they didn't want to break up the labor unions. You see, the Labour Party unfortunately has monopolized over labor unions in Britain. For example, the old unions are now overrun by Trotskyists, etc. Like the Socialist Party of Britain is overrun with elite Trotskyists like George Galloway, etc., part of Labour Party. And George Galloway founded the Hamas people. And also back to the point, the reason why I disagree with Michael Rosen that it's voluntary if children are sent to this democracy mandate of really like a pejorative, like basically like mock children, not mock, basically mock children to do some political, choose which party, which party policy, or that. I disagree. It's voluntary because you're living in a representative democracy. A representative democracy, you vote someone to get the power, not you personally get the power yourself. Because generally, like democracy and freedom, I believe freedom cannot be given through representative democracies, because they are just, the politicians monopolize over your vote and put themselves in power in a highly objective egoist position compared to having everyone, including the opposition, to have right to vote, right to democratically express the feeling and the solidarity what they have. Well, that's the reason. Okay, continue.
I was a child, I'm utterly indoctrinated. I'm
You obviously went.
Michael Rosen made a really funny joke, but because he says it's voluntary under any kind of government, representative democracy controlled by a single politician of its single party, is literally the exploitation of direct democracy and other democratic confederation of democracy, for example. And many other democracies better than representative democracies. In retrospectively, look at the Labour Party. They have really dismantled the labor unions in Britain, literally. Yeah. Oh, we only have cooperatives now. Unions are kind of disappeared, really. Like to where I live, the labor unions really not here in West London, or West London, rather.
To one of these when you were very young,
I
and
did
it's
from
stuck.
naught onwards, and I was no good at making
Well, it
placards.
shows
so
how
I'd have
effective they are,
absolutely-
doesn't it?
Oh my days, the conservative woman just butt in Michael Rosen's throat. My days, does this conservative woman, she says I have respects, but she doesn't even pay any respects to the opposition. Basically, she wants to silence him. So we can see she is a conservative, anti-democratic, purely for the